As a Christian, it's becoming increasingly evident that trust in the mainstream media is a challenging and potentially misguided endeavor. The reasons for this distrust are multifaceted and rooted in the media's inherent biases, omissions, and outright distortions of truth. One of the primary concerns is the media's blatant disregard for Christian values and principles. The mainstream media often portrays Christianity in a negative light, emphasizing the flaws and shortcomings of individual Christians while ignoring the countless positive contributions of the faith to society. This skewed perspective is a result of the media's secular and liberal leanings, which often lead to misrepresentation of Christian beliefs and practices. News outlets frequently focus on the most extreme and fringe elements of Christianity, such as radical fundamentalists or corrupt televangelists, while neglecting the vast majority of Christians who live out their faith with humility, compassion, and integrity. This selective reporting reinforces negative stereotypes and perpetuates a climate of hostility towards Christians, making it difficult for believers to trust the media's portrayal of their faith. Another reason Christians cannot trust the mainstream media is its tendency to push a liberal and progressive agenda. The media often uses its platform to promote ideologies that are in direct conflict with Christian teachings, such as abortion, LGBTQ+ rights, and socialism. By presenting these issues as morally neutral or even virtuous, the media creates a sense of moral relativism that undermines the absolute truths of the Bible. This is particularly concerning for Christians, who are called to uphold the timeless and unchanging principles of Scripture, rather than conforming to the ever-shifting values of the world. Furthermore, the mainstream media's obsession with sensationalism and ratings-driven journalism leads to a culture of fear-mongering and exaggeration. News outlets frequently prioritize provocative headlines and dramatic storylines over factual accuracy and balanced reporting. This approach creates a climate of anxiety and distress, where Christians are led to believe that the world is a more sinister and threatening place than it actually is. By fueling these fears, the media exploits the emotions of its audience, rather than providing a nuanced and thoughtful exploration of the issues. In addition to these concerns, the mainstream media's propensity for censorship and suppression of dissenting voices is a significant issue for Christians. The media often ignores or dismisses perspectives that dare to challenge the prevailing liberal orthodoxy, creating an echo chamber that marginalizes and silences Christian viewpoints. This censorship not only undermines the principles of free speech and open debate, but also prevents Christians from engaging in meaningful dialogue with the wider culture. By stifling the free exchange of ideas, the media reinforces its own biases and creates a self-perpetuating cycle of groupthink. Ultimately, the reasons Christians cannot trust the mainstream media are rooted in the media's fundamental worldview, which is often at odds with the principles of the faith. The media's emphasis on humanism, relativism, and secularism creates a narrative that is hostile to the absolute truths of Christianity. As a result, Christians must be discerning and critical in their consumption of mainstream media, recognizing the inherent biases and agendas that shape the news and information they receive. By seeking out alternative sources of information and engaging in thoughtful criticism of the media, Christians can cultivate a more nuanced understanding of the world and its complexities, one that is grounded in the timeless truths of Scripture rather than the fleeting narratives of the mainstream media.